Okay, so getting into the swarm plot now. Now this is kind of the opposite of lots of the plots we've been talking about. This is not trying to generalize, not trying to hide the noise. This is trying to show you as much detail as possible. What it's doing here is the algorithm, the swarm plot algorithm, is putting every single data point, not trying to not put every data point on top of the other one. You'll notice eventually they'll kind of bunch up on the sides. But you can turn down the size of the little dot data points, so really to try and plot and give as much texture as possible. This is really kind of the only plot that really, wow, I guess there's other ways to find it other ways, but this really gives you a very high level of detail by default, and this is what it's meant for. Is when you need this much detail, and that does happen sometimes. Lots of times, generalizing and assuming so you can see more of the outline of the distribution is good. Other times, really seeing lots of detail. Maybe you're in a rare situation, but seeing lots of detail can be very valuable. And really, it looks kind of an interesting sort of plot. There are not many other ones that look exactly like this, and the algorithm, it would be something you wouldn't want to do on everything altogether because it does actually take a while to generate because the algorithm is putting a little work in to make sure that the data points are not on top of each other. Okay. And so this again, when you really want to see things kind of that much detail, really otherwise unseen, but really no other way to see things. But then with the swarm plot, and I found so many little interesting insights using the swarm plot. The count plot is also a very, well, maybe a little bit less interesting type of plot, kind of basic in lots of sense. You're counting the amount of times a category is appearing. There just really is not a lot of analysis you can do just on the distributions. We'll see eventually with Plotly, there are some interesting alternatives as well, something that we can do, use a little bit more in detail to inspect the categories by themselves. But generally speaking, the count plot is the way to go. You really want to understand the balance of these categories. This will affect all of your analysis, leading into machine learning. The balance of your categories becomes even more important. Okay, so we really want to pay attention to this. Which ones are underrepresented in terms of our correlation or means, right? If we get the mean of a distribution on our whole data set, how is that mean? Who does that represent, right? That's going to represent the category that appears the most in our data set. So we're trying to really understand that and really understand the distributions. Sorry, we're really trying to understand the balance of our categories or classes in our category data sets.